Mark Zuckerberg explains the real terrifying reason why he created Metaverse. Mark Zuckerberg popped up on screen at Facebook's Virtual Connect conference recently, looking happy as he strolled through sterile rooms filled with mid-century modern furniture. But is he really that happy? Or are there some different emotions behind that smile? So many questions, right? But the biggest question of all is, why is it that Zuckerberg created his own metaverse? Want to know about it? Well, stay tuned in the video. Hello everyone, welcome back to your favorite channel, Metaverse Area, where we entertain you with the new updates about the metaverse and what exactly the future holds for us. Also, don't forget to subscribe and click that little bell icon right there for more updates. That being said, let's begin. So, a multi-year trust crisis with regulatory authorities fuming, employees fleeing, and lawmakers trying to compare Facebook to Big Tobacco? That doesn't sound familiar. Instead, Mr. Zuckerberg and his associates cheerfully laid out their view for the so-called metaverse, the interactive digital environment that Facebook has been retitled Meta. However, except for a few professionally compelled financial journalists, everyone will probably continue to refer to it as Facebook is attempting to build. A variety of questions could be raised about this metaverse strategy. The first and most fundamental question is, what is a metaverse and how will Facebook's version of one look? Like most of Facebook's strategy announcements, Thursday's rebranding formalized a shift that had been in the works for years. The company announced earlier this week that it would spend approximately $10 billion on metaverse-related investment opportunities this year, and it has been obtaining VR startups in what could quantity to a metaverse land grab. In its Reality Labs division, the company already has over 10,000 people that work on augmented and virtual reality projects, roughly twice the number of people on Twitter's entire staff, and has stated that it wants to recruit 10,000 more in Europe soon. Thursday's presentation provided an answer to that question, at least in part. Mr. Zuckerberg envisioned the metaverse as a spotless, well-lit virtual world, decided to enter with the virtual and augmented reality equipment at first, and extra progressed body sensors. Later on, in which players can access virtual games, attend virtual live performances, shop for virtual goods, collect virtual art, socialize with each other's virtual avatars, and attend virtual work meetings. The vision of an interactive digital realm is not new. It was envisioned nearly 30 years ago by science fiction writer Neil Stephenson. But Mr. Zuckerberg is betting that it will become a reality, claiming that the metaverse will be a successor to the mobile internet. Another obvious question to ask is, will this work? Of course, it's impossible to say for sure. Still, I'm skeptical that Facebook, a lumbering bureaucracy whose biggest breakthroughs in the last decades have mostly come from buying, trying to compete for apps, or copying their features, rather than creating its ideas internally, will create an integrated virtual universe that people want to spend time in. But in my opinion, the most intriguing question is, why is Mr. Zuckerberg doing something like this? After all, it's not a precursor to a massive corporate reorganization or an indication of a chief executive seeking to make his job easier, as was the instance when Google renamed itself Alphabet in 2015 and Larry Page was forced to hand over day-to-day control of Google to Sundar Pichai. And while some speculate that the Meta rebranding is intended to divert attention away from Facebook's most recent round of scandals, it's bizarre to think that declaring a radical plan to reimagine the digital world will indeed make critics less skeptical of the company's motives. To comprehend why Mr. Zuckerberg is going all in, consider that an effective metaverse pivot could help Facebook solve at least 4 major vexing problems here on Earth. First, there were the analysts. In a December note, Jefferies analysts, led by equity strategist Simon Powell, stated that the metaverse has the ability to destabilize almost everything in human life. Bloomberg Intelligence's metaverse represents billion-dollar potential markets. Then there were the large, publicly traded video game editors. Ubisoft, the creator of Assassin's Creed, and Square Enix, the creator of Final Fantasy, have both launched the new Web3 initiatives. The erstwhile introduced NFTs and a crypto-based payment method. At the same time, the latter proclaimed 2021 to be the metaverse year and revealed a major push into the emerging sector in 2022. They were all following in Zuckerberg's footsteps. He's repeatedly claimed that the metaverse will be the successor to the existing mobile internet, and he wants Meta to be a major player in whatever comes next. Zuckerberg proved what the future multiverse might look like and how it might work in his October short video introducing Meta. The video depicted a world where people jump into and out of a 3D virtual space, similar to those seen in The Matrix and Ready Player One. During the discussion, Zuckerberg's avatar launched a digital 2D video chat to connect with a friend expected to join them. She's out in the real world, being an individual and unable to join, but she needed to demonstrate off a piece of augmented reality art she'd seen in person. The entire thing appears to have occurred via FaceTime, Zoom, or any other piece of technology we already use. Some avatars appear to be realistic representations of the people they represent, while others are complete abstractions, like the largest robot seen above. Instead of playing a game, everybody is essentially trying to hang out in a three-dimensional chat room, similar to Second Life or PlayStation Home rather than Fortnite. It's unclear that anyone in the demo is connecting to or interacting with the space. Still, it appears to be VR headsets, a critical component of Zuckerberg's metaverse vision that also provides business opportunities given Meta's achievement with the Oculus Quest line of VR headsets. In some ways, it's a vision of the future that combines many long-standing concepts, such as shared online worlds and digital avatars, with recently emerging trends such as digital art ownership via NFT technologies and online tipping for creators. In another sense, it's a vision that takes our current reality, where you can already hang out in 2D or 3D virtual chat with friends who are or aren't wearing VR headsets, and adds more monetization and advertising opportunities. Someone will sell the hardware to gain access to this future, and someone will create the software that popularized it, and Zuckerberg has made it quite clear that he wants Meta to be a leader on both fronts. It's no surprise then that the gold rush has begun among investors and tech companies. Meta's video and Zuckerberg's dedication to the metaverse have successfully persuaded them that it's the next golden goose. The first is something I've previously discussed. Facebook's core social media business is aging, and young folks are abandoning its apps in favor of TikTok, Snapchat, and other cooler apps. Facebook's youth problem hasn't yet hurt the company financially. Still, ad revenue is a lagging indicator, and there's plenty of evidence that even Instagram, the relatively healthy app in Facebook's portfolio, is losing this same attention of teenagers and 20-somethings. If current trends continue, the bleakest version of what Facebook could become in the coming years, a boomer-dominated sludge pit stuffed with cute animal videos and hyper-partisan trash, is not what the company wants as its flagship product. If it encourages young people to put on their Oculus headphones and hang out in Horizon, Facebook's social VR app, instead of watching TikTok videos on their phones, the metaverse could help with the company's demographic crisis. Another issue that Facebook's metaverse strategy, if successful, could address is platform risk. For years, Mr. Zuckerberg has been irritated that because Facebook's mobile app runs on iOS and Android, its success is heavily reliant on Apple and Google, two businesses whose priorities are frequently opposed to its own. Apple's app tracking transparency changes this year, for example, harmed Facebook's advertising business by making it more difficult for the company to collect data about users' mobile activity. And if smartphones continue to be the dominant way for people to interact online, Facebook will never be able to control its destiny truly. Mr. Zuckerberg has been talking about the metaverse's strategic benefits since at least 2015. When he wrote to his subordinates, "We need to prosper in building both a big platform and key apps to enhance our strategic location on the next platform." If it works, a metaverse strategy could finally free Facebook from Apple and Google's grip by directing users to Facebook-owned platforms like Oculus, where it won't have to worry about being kicked out of the App Store for snooping on users' activity or assisting in the illegal trafficking of domestic workers. And it would imply that if Facebook decided to charge for, say, virtual clothing inside of its multiverse apps, it could do so without paying a 30% fee to a competitor. The third issue that Facebook is dealing with is regulatory risk. Facebook isn't about to be broken up. Still, regulators are making enough noise about limiting its growth, for example, by enacting new privacy laws or preventing it from acquiring the next Instagram, that it makes sense to place bets in areas like VR and AR that are less likely to be regulated anytime soon. Furthermore, because so many of Facebook's regulatory issues stem from how its apps are used for fractious political debates, the metaverse could enable it to point to a kinder, gentler social universe that angry partisans haven't yet co-opted. That's it for the day, guys. We hope that the video was up to your standards regarding metaverse-related information. If you enjoyed our video, then do not forget to hit the like button. Also, subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon so that the next time we come up with more interesting metaverse stuff, you get notified right away. And we'll see you in the next one.